The crisis is not over. Your work is not done. And I'm all dressed up. And I've got I've got the triangle on the back of my head. Yeah, it's saying go look for other secrets, essentially. And they're also saying to do the procedurally generated looking quests that just kind of randomly keep throwing new quests at you, which
Shawshank Redemption.
That's a bummer.
That's the name of the movie I was thinking of earlier. Not important, but that was it.
That's funny. That's funny. She finally remembered it. That's it, more or less. I should look into these now that I have the time. Feels a little awkward to do it after it's over.
I feel Darling reached out to me through the hotline. I have a feeling he and Trench won't be the only callers from the beyond.
Maybe. Are they baiting a sequel? I'm not sure if they are. I kind of just get a feeling that they left the narrative open-ended for the sake of... Yeah, more or less for the sake of insisting on making it so you keep doing side quests after the story's over.
Director of the Federal Bureau of Control. I still don't quite believe it. But you always knew where we were headed.
The downside is that it's kind of an unsatisfying ending. You don't get the resolution you'd want.
The director stopped the hiss, right? Sounds like she can really handle things.
The game just kind of stops.
I'll be here waiting for you when you wake up, brother.
Are they planning sequels?
You wake up.
Or expansions?
It'll be because of her.
There haven't been any hiss sightings in the Ocean View Motel. Could survivors be hiding inside?
It's possible.
Jesse, good to see you. We've got Dylan situated in his containment cell like you asked. I've got medical staff running tests as we speak, and I'd be happy to walk you through the details later. Other than that, what's next?
With the slide projector turned off, the hiss are shut out, but we're stuck with the ones already here. We can't lift the lockdown until they're all eradicated. If any hiss ever got out, that would be the end of everything.
Well, eliminating them all will take time. Look, I'll do what I can on my end, but my research is progressing slower than I'd like.
I think I can help with that. I am making you the head of research, effective immediately. I want you to use everything the Bureau has, every resource, every confidential scrap of data, and find a way to keep the hiss out for good.
That's... Really? I mean, yes, I can certainly... Yes! Yes, I accept.
You'll do great. Besides, I didn't really have anyone else lined up.
I'm honored, Jesse, really. Thank you. I've looked through the docs we found in Dimensional Research. That slide projector is extremely powerful. You were right to shut it down.
How do you feel about me taking over as director?
You act like it just happened. You've been director since we first met, remember? I'm still thrilled. Nothing's changed, not for me. But the Bureau has changed. Trench and Darling are gone. Their knowledge, anything not written down, disappeared with them. They knew the Bureau better than anyone.
They're the Bureau's past, Emily. We won't operate like they did. We'll learn from their mistakes. We'll be better than they ever were.
We won't ever be like them.
When the hiss got into my head, I saw some weird things. I think Darling even spoke to me. Does that make any sense to you?
Well, empirically, no, but Phantom voices as well as hallucinatory states are not uncommon here. And considering the forces that Dr. Darling was working with, he could have been transferred to a different plane of consciousness, physically or otherwise.
And that doesn't upset you?
Oh, very. The fact that he hid those forces from me, it's infuriating. But Darling's dream was always to look beyond our reality. This time he may have taken a step too far, but as long as his consciousness can perceive his surroundings, I'm sure he's loving it.
Maybe Darling was just trying to protect you from the darker side of his work.
Fuck that. I'm not a child. Like, don't just assume I'm going to consider something morally repugnant.
Which it all was.
Which it all was, of course.
Well, that was a cathartic fuck that.
When the hiss got into my head, I saw
No. I misclick.
How was Dylan? The same. I can't detect any hiss activity, but his physiology has certainly been altered by it. And I can't tell if his brain activity is genuine or simply the aftermath of the hiss, like spasms. Dylan could wake up tomorrow for all I know. I really can't say.
Then I just have to wait for him. That's fair. He waited a long time for me.
Don't worry. We'll be monitoring him round the clock. If he wakes up, we'll be ready. I don't mean that in a hostile way, just... well, you know.
I hear you. My brother isn't exactly popular around here.
I hope one day he'll have the chance to change that.
It's a bummer we never got to really meet him, like who he was. HRA failure.
So, there was a moment after Hedron died that I couldn't feel my powers. The hiss got into my head. Just for a moment.
So that explains the HRA outage. Before we knew what was happening, the hiss had us. They were in my head. I saw terrible things. I mean, I was about to go under forever when the hiss was pushed back. The HRAs had come back on. Dylan vanished afterwards, and we fought off the hiss that came after him. So if Hedron's death knocked out the HRAs, that means there must be a new local source for them to relay, which I'm guessing must be...
Me.
you. Hedron is dead, assuming that word even applies to a resonant-based life form. But whatever it awakened in you, the power you call Polaris, is still active. Or at least, that's what my instruments are telling me.
I don't think we're ever gonna understand all of this. And I'm okay with that. I'm just glad you're here with me.
That's good to know. Thanks, Emily.
I mean, I don't recommend being too okay with not knowing everything. Learning everything about what's going on and figuring out what to do with it is like the entire basis of how we solve any problems around here.
I found Dylan attacking the astral plane and the board. What was he hoping to accomplish?
Huh. Since they arrived, Hiss have been corrupting objects of power, which have an inherent link to the astral plane. Maybe their goal was to access the astral plane and the board itself.
That still doesn't tell us why.
His motives are a difficult thing to work out, but I have been digging through confidential files and noticed a strange gap in knowledge regarding the board. Looks like any data on them has either been deleted or was never gathered in the first place.
Then maybe it's time someone looked into that.
Maybe it is.
Well, I've got a bureau to run. See you soon.
Yes, ma'am, Director Faden.
Please, Emily. Not even as a joke.
Director Faden. Now we're running the place that ruined my life. Yay, yay, yay. Hip, hip, hooray. That was a sound. Alright. Are you still here? Yeah, you're still
I
here.
found a file on the old director, Northmore. Didn't list any date of death. You, You know anything about that?
Could be an error.
I heard you closed the Hiss portal, or whatever it is we're calling it. And if we could just flush out the stragglers.
So, what's next for Simon Arish?
Well, first off, I'm banning all slide projectors. That's it. Seriously, though, we need to review our protocols. Research should not be making decisions that endanger the entire Bureau, no, fuck it, the entire fucking world, without some serious oversight.
I think Pope would agree. Certain people in the Bureau have been working in the shadows for too long.
And I'd like to make these HRAs part of the mandatory Bureau uniform. They're not stylish, but better safe than sorry.
I don't think anyone will complain. Not after this.
I don't think anyone will complain because we're not even allowed to fucking leave until the Hiss are gone. So as long as they're here, everyone can instantly die.
What are your thoughts on me serving as director?
Well, I couldn't be more excited. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, Trench was fine, but well, you pulled us back from the brink, so... Well, I'm honored to serve, ma'am. I mean, fuck, shit. Faden. Sorry.
He'll get it one day.
So, what's the situation in my Bureau, Arish?
The situation is we are still up to our eyes in Hiss. Not to mention the months of repairs it's gonna take just to get this place up and running again.
But is it doable?
Of course it is. You just might need to tell some rangers to grab a wrench once they're done hunting Hiss.
Did anyone ever mention to you that Darling was using the slide projector?
Well, Salvador never did, but I doubt he even knew. Look, I'm well aware that it's our job to study and contain the things that we don't understand, but some of the things that Darling did were way outside of our mission statement. Look, these things are not toys, and acting like they are is only ever going to end one way. At least Pope seems to understand that.
Well, it's secure now. No one can reach it without my say-so.
But thank Christ for that.
Marshall's been missing for a while now. Any ideas where she could be?
The last time I saw her was in maintenance when I was leading the Rangers out of the Atlas. Yeah, I told her it wasn't safe, but she said she had to go check on something.
Did you ask where she was going?
Whew, Marshall is not the kind of person you question. Kind of intimidating, you know? But, she was by herself, if that helps at all.
Not really, but thanks.
Hopefully she turns up.
I'll see you later.
You know where I'll be.
Was she the bounty hunter looking lady? I think that's who Marshall was. Alright, so we got a lot of tasks to follow up on still, but most of them are fucking boring, so we're not going to do that. But there's this guy and this guy. Objects of power are basically the only type of task that's interesting in this game. Let's see what we can track down. This episode's going to get long. This is going to be a long-ass finale, because I didn't quite get the chance to finish up some things I wanted to finish up. So here we are. About out of ability points, but I maxed out my health and my energy. Got that going for us. Office assistant. Oh, right. That was a costume. Yeah, I gotta say, I don't really dig the hair. Just kind of boring. Don't care about charge, but I can't finish off Pierce yet. Seize accelerator. Weapon mod. Reload speed. Boring. That's all I've got. Oh yeah. It costs other resources, not just the points. Wow. Huh. I may need to investigate just how the fuck you even get there, because I tried and I couldn't find it before. I thought maybe a door would open up later, but it hasn't. Someone's here? Ah, shit.
Someone needs help over there.
Hello?
Sounds like there's a man down.
I'm here. What happened to you?
I got in a little scrap. Name's Horowitz.
Is he gonna be okay?
Don't look at me like that. I'm fine. But Wells is still in there. You gotta get him out.
Who's Wells?
My squad mate. We were hunting a runaway altered item. We followed it down into the clocks.
The clocks.
A threshold. The Bureau sealed it up years back because of all the clocks. We followed the altered item inside, but the way it was acting, we weren't ready. Me and Wells were the only ones to make it to the motel court. He was right behind me, but he never showed up on this side.
I'll go find him. But first, you need to get to a medic.
Wells is the medic. Please, you gotta get him out of there. I'll be fine, really. Roop can patch me up later.
Fine. But I'll be back for you.
I damn well hope so. Just use the motel cord there. It should get you into the clocks. Sorry, the threshold.
This was here the whole time? Just hiding? Weird. Huh, I would have never found this. It said a dead end on the map. Like, there's no reason to go this way. Clock. It only changes the first time you look at it. And then it stops changing. Now we're just looping again? So 12:30. Am I supposed to make a stop at 12:30? It's moving fucking fast. Close enough, I guess. I hope. $3:30. That's a sound. I must have gotten the other one right by chance. Huh. Lucky.
This Wells guy can't be far. Those must be the clocks he was talking about.
You don't say. Hello. Aw. I couldn't keep my overpowered state. There we go. Why is there a farming tent? Is that what that is? I mean, camping tent, farming tent. What the fuck? Why did I say that?
Shit.
Are you Wells? Your friend asked me to come looking for you.
That must be Horowitz. Glad he got out. I stayed back to help the others. Did a shit job of it, clearly.
You tried. That's enough. Horowitz needs your help now. How do we get out of here?
We should head back through the threshold. We can look for other survivors as we go.
We better hurry. Which way?
Just follow the blood. Let's go.
Just follow the blood. Little does he know I can just use that warp point to get out of here. Oh, we're in here now. So I need to do this quest in order to find my way into the area for the lantern.
Threshold effect. This used to be a regular office wing before the threshold manifested. The forces at play there got a hold of someone's old clock and started duplicating it. Now the office is abandoned and its clock's all the way down.
Clocks all the way down. Say hello to awkward B-roll of people that don't want to be filmed. Those two hated being on camera with him, with Darling. He's trying to set off the fucking ball thing to go with the show, and he just can't fucking do it. Ooh. Aww. Hey, I caught one on purpose. Well, I guess it doesn't take a clock scientist to figure out why this place is the clock place. Just mountains and mountains of it.
Think you can find a way around?
Let me see.
These giant pals are not physics objects, they're simpler clocks. Faking me out.
So, you came down here for an altered item?
The anchor, yeah. Langston said it'd be a simple item retrieval. But the power of that thing had. I've never seen anything like it.
Postbox supplement. Agents arrived in the town of Jasper Crossing, Arizona, after the communications department intercepted multiple... There's no redactions on here. Intercepted multiple phone calls to local authorities regarding frozen people in the streets. 4 of the 5 dispatched agents became paralyzed upon arriving at the scene. Additional assessment teams were dispatched. Variations of identification formulas were tried with ineffectual results. Agents resorted to using aerial photography to study the positioning of the paralyzed individuals. Soon after, agents discovered the event's epicenter to be the local post office. Unaffected agents cleared the area of all paralyzed civilians, animals, and Bureau personnel before beginning to study the item. Agents deemed susceptible to the item were tasked with interviewing and re-informing the public away from the site. The item was soon placed on a transport vehicle manned by unaffected agents. Air travel had been deemed too dangerous, given the item's effect. Numerous reports of temporary paralysis were reported by civilians along the truck's route from Arizona to New York City. Jesus. It was just paralyzing everyone along the way. Oh. Here I thought that being of sufficient rank and having beaten the story would have fixed that up. I was thinking that maybe my clearance ranking over the course of the game might have been changing what level of redaction there was. Because towards the end of the game I was getting some very lightly redacted material. So when this one had no redactions on it at all, I was like, hang on a minute, the fuck? So I wanted to go scrolling through the other ones to see if they now suddenly had no redactions on them. But they still have them. Just a weird coincidence that the first document I read after getting clearance makes it look like I'm all set. So many goddamn clocks. Whoops. Careful. Oh boy. My melee didn't get much stronger. There might be a way to upgrade that one too. Careful. So, they said there's an altered item. That may have been the lantern. Wherever it is. Thankfully, friendly fire seems to be off. Otherwise, there might have been some serious trouble there. There's so many clocks. Is this the lantern? It is.
Wasn't so bad.
That safe room is where the altered item cornered us. We sealed the door on the way out. I couldn't let it get out into the bureau.
I'll need to come deal with that altered item later. If I open the safe room now, Wells could get hurt.
How do I get out of here? I'm turned around. So the paper lantern was a big old pile of nothing. It's just sitting there. That's all you do. You just find it and you're like, alright, there it is. But it leads me to the clock situation. A weird case of like layered objectives. I'm so turned around. Refrigerator supplement. It's for the Arctic Queen again. Can you tell us why you left your building that day? I was running out to get eggs. There was that corner store on the 30th. That's why I left Michael there on his own. I knew I wouldn't be gone long. He was drawing at the table when I left. Had his crayons out. Happy. The building came down when I was a block away. I ran back. Started digging. City workers found Mickey later. Beside the fridge. The drawings hadn't come off. Tons of bricks fall on it, and those drawings are still there. How does that happen? You kept the refrigerator after the accident. Why? It still had his drawings. God must have kept them safe for a reason, right? I'd get home from work, then stare at them all night. I was in a bad way back then. Why did you sell the fridge with your son's drawing still on it? They'd gotten stuck to it or something. I thought about cutting them off of those magnets, but maybe it was better. I didn't hold on to them, you know? Gotta move on, everyone says. What's my fridge got to do with the building collapse anyhow? So the fridge killed his son and took out the entire building with it. Paper lantern. Items should be kept locked in a containment cell. Any prolonged observation of the item should be avoided. The item is a paper lantern known as a choshin. The paper is red with elegant black Japanese characters that translate to ramen. Item has an attractive effect that is both physical and psychological. Nearby objects gravitate toward the item with a minor force of bleh. Most notable is its ability to attract sentient organisms with its rich red color and warm, comforting glow. Well, yeah, it's the comforting promise of ramen. So I guess that's why it had a weird pile of clocks on top of it. That didn't conform with the local shape of all the falling clocks. It was a different, weirder shape. Escort Wells to Horowitz. I'm actually like legit lost right now. Do I go to Horowitz on foot or do I go back to the pull string? And if I go back to the pull string, how do I find it? Because I don't actually know where I am. No, maybe I can just walk through here.
When it was clear we couldn't contain the altered item, Horowitz ordered a retreat. We got out, but Hiss were waiting for us. I took Horowitz to the motel court and went back for the others.
That was great.
I'm the medic. It's my job.
There we go. Yeah, we're walking back. Gotcha. So yeah, here's the part where I come in from the back side of that door from before. That I knew about. Work chat. Plane parts. Okay, Mr. Dead Dog, what do you think of this? You know that airplane we brought in? Like, the actual proper airplane? Guess who they made catalog every individual piece of that plane to be examined for suspected altered status? I had to count every bolt, nut, and piece of non-connected metal. And that's just for the exterior of the damn thing. Do you know how many pieces of hardware it takes to make an airplane? I do. I do. Nah, the Dead Dog's still worse. Because the Dead Dog's like a nightmarish experience that you have to live with, but cataloging a plane, it's like, what, are you complaining you had to work at your job? You're gonna have to do something all day. Like, it's not fun work, but like, it's still just like, eh.
We're not far now.
You get paid all the same, right? Whereas the Dead Dog is like, oh no, I don't need this in my life. I live with this experience now. Ba-boom. Yeah, I think I've got that upgrade that lets me pick up people that are low on health, so I can pick up one low health item and like picking them up instantly kills them. I did that a few times over the last few hours. But then it also, you can throw them into the other person, really just cleaning things up. The new director doesn't believe in stairs. Let's go take care of the poor guy.
The motel court is on the other side of logistics. Horowitz should still be there.
Hope so. Question is, are they going to respawn a whole new room of enemies? Not this time. Well, the last time I got attacked in here. Huh. AWE rising frequency. For some time now, there's been a steady increase in the annual number of AWEs the Bureau responds to. Between 2010 and 2015, we responded to AWEs for comparison. Blah, 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 blah. Is this rise a result of improvement in our detection procedures, or perhaps simply coincidence? We cannot say for sure. Which is why this proposal for an AWE task force to be created within the hierarchy of the investigation sector has been compiled. We need to spend more time examining what causes AWEs rather than just containing them. That's a good plan. If only y'all survived. Half the people playing these things probably all died. Oh, meet Wells at the control point. What? Why didn't we just saving your friend? When I heard that, I thought it was going to be meet Wells at his friend who was dying. I didn't really process what it meant. It meant stay there. I'm like, I'm already at your friend. Dude's bleeding.
Let's go.
Oh, come on. All right. Weren't you following me? It's like he just stopped following me for like 30 seconds. And then we did this.
Hold on.
Something's
wrong with him.
Oh no.
Shit.
I was just here a second ago. He was fine. Aw.
Horowitz. Oh God, no. You fuckers took him.
I can't even fucking see him, honestly. This would be a pretty good example of what I was talking about when I said things that don't count as a boss fight. This is the most boring one of them all. He's just a generic hiss. He's not even one of the ones that does stuff. He's just sitting there, getting shot. Why was he like this? Why was he a boss?
Make sure he's okay.
I would almost think a newly converted hiss might be the weakest kind. Yeah, because all those other super hiss were all described as being potentially from extended exposure. He just became one.
I'm sorry about your friend.
Thanks. And thanks for coming to get me. Horowitz's HRA must have been damaged in the threshold. Guy never put himself first. At least the anchor altered item is still locked away down in the clocks. I hope it rots down there.
That altered item needs to be dealt with before it hurts anyone else. I should go back down and contain it. Head to the executive sector, Wells. They could use a medic.
Thank you, Director. I'll go see what good I can do there.
Yep. Down there they could use probably 3 medics and 12 psychiatrists at this point. Alright, we're back. That epilogue getting pretty long to film. We're back though. So, we're trying to find this threshold situation that cost these poor men their lives. I'm in the bathroom. There we go. Can't even read a map that's right in front of me. It's really zoomed out. It always looks like stuff's gonna connect when it doesn't. Hello? Sealed area, do not access. Well, that's a wall. Not even one that I can break.
This is the safe room Will showed me. The one with the altered item inside.
Oh. Wasn't it supposed to be closed? Did it get out? Can it get out? Can it move? Bye. I pressed E instead of F. Oh, you didn't open it to the right place. I think it said sealed threshold account. There's a lot of items. Why is that ranked as being new? Oh, was it added to the wall maybe? Because like that picture was already all over the building. Threshold management, retrospective threshold 9D. Threshold with effect blip manifested in the containment sector in the middle of blip department. Simultaneously numbered blip appeared in the area and during killing many. After rescue operations were completed and rangers were sent in to discover the threshold's epicenter, the sheer amount of blip made the expedition impossible. Clocks, I'm assuming? The area was sealed off after removing the clocks. Proved an impossible task. Wait, clocks is uncensored there. Is that what they were saying before? I don't know. The department was relocated and the area abandoned. Researchers theorized threshold introduced unstable matter to our dimension, which adopted the form of blah, 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 clocks and introduced stable blah, 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 blah. You would think that they're talking about clocks appearing here, and there's so many clocks, and oh my god, the unstable matter became clocks. But those are all censored, but here the clocks are not censored, so now I'm just confused, honestly. Unless the censoring doesn't even... Is the censoring canonically not supposed to make sense? Is the censoring itself also bullshit? Like it's RNG?
Great. More clocks.
There's literally fewer clocks in here than there were before. This is an improvement for us. Like this is a significant improvement clockwise. Whoa! That was a seamless transition to creepy, weird, non-Euclidean nightmare zone. Oh, there's the anchor. Yeah, they called it an anchor, didn't they? In this case, because it's actually an anchor. There are 2 loot spots. You know what? I don't care. Just gonna level with y'all. This is the final, like, maybe 20 minutes of the entire playthrough. I don't care that there's a loot box up there full of, like, 12% damage reduction or whatever. Ooh. Ooh? The fuck is that? The anchor. Well, that doesn't work. Is it? Oh. Oh, do I cleanse it? Do I send it back to him? Throw it off a cliff? Okay. Do I send this back into the center of the abyss when he tries to eat me or whatever? Yep. So I'll raise the question once again. Why weren't there any main story boss fights? Why did they do that? I'm so confused. I didn't pick up the clock in time. Oh, it doesn't matter. Look how this is so much cooler than any of the shit you do in the main story. What were you doing, Remedy? I'm so confused by you. What do you... Your motivations as a company are weird and confusing. Owie. Gah. Ouchies. Wow, he's turning faster and that's a problem for me. Oh, he's actually... Oh, it's not chasing me at all. It's rotating. Continuously in a loop. I better get moving. Is he gonna attack that one next? So it's acting like a clock, and then it's attacking the... It's going in a rotation order. So if I would like to maintain my survivability for a bit, I can go around and get some health. Okay, this is a lot of incoming enemies. I just need to fight him now. Would you? There we go. This is the strength of the game. It's weird that the main story forgot that. What a fun, weird, ridiculous thing. I almost missed this.
No wonder the Rangers had such a hard time with that one.
Fascinating. I wonder if they just had to, like, rush it out. Like they had more plans. Because, like, that's strange choices. Is one of these boxes underground? I'm not sure what that silhouette was. That was interesting. Oops. Oh, we're doing this again. Okay, that's way more morbid than I thought it was gonna be. That got darker than I thought. Alright, so that's it, I think, right? Yeah, fuck the mold. The clog. Now I'm focusing on altered items. Now we're going to synchronicity. I'm all for side content, but if the side content's more interesting than the main content, you should really reconsider your approach to making main content. Because the entire main story was basically just fighting waves of guys with guns, and sometimes floaty explodey men. But like, the side content's full of unique boss fights, and I'm so confused by why you would do that. Sees an additional enemy. Neat. I'm going to synchronicity. Yeah, it just doesn't say where it is on the map. I guess I just have to warp into the area, and then I'll get a more accurate waypoint once I'm there. I think is how that works. Or was this a I think this was previously a quest I tried to do, and I wasn't sure where to go. The Synchronicity Lab. What does that mean? I have no idea. I'll try these question mark zones, I guess. Okay, thank God. Wow, I guessed super well. I went to the exact waypoint that's closest to the Synchronicity Lab, basically at random. Okay. Ba-boom. Creepy. What's with that costume? It's like a Jedi Master or something. And that's a children's room, so that's creepy. Is this where they kept the children they were experimenting on, like my brother? Oh. It would appear that this one broke out. Is that where my brother was? Wasn't me.
Why'd they keep an altered item here?
Debrief for Mirror Excursion 7C. Subject is Agent Hardy. Hardy spent approximately 3 hours in the mirror. It's the longest time on record. Can you describe your experience inside, Agent Hardy? Agent Hardy is physically healthy. All tests have come back clean. Yet the speech issue has persisted for hours. Calm down, Agent. It could be psychosomatic, but the fact that this only occurred after returning from the mirror makes a paranatural explanation more likely. I recommend a battery of tests and a Class Orange quarantine.
He's speaking backwards after coming out of the mirror. Well, you can figure out what he's saying if you play what he's saying backwards. Seems fixable for now. Livable, at least. Mirror altered item once again not opening to the correct page. Ati's cabin. Loamy lumps, holiday humps. The sun is warm, the beer is cold, and the kosu is in ice. This proposal is to finally determine the precise nature of the reflected space within the altered item. Is it transplanar, psychologically generated, or rooted within our own dimension? How does the altered item know the space in its vicinity well enough to reflect it? Why does it reflect some materials but not others? Is the space a parallel reality? If so, then we need to consider that while we possess this physical end of the mirror, someone else owns the other. What purposes might they use it for? Can they walk through it into our world? What are their motives? Lastly, to what purpose does the altered item produce the reflections of individuals that enter it? Can these reflected entities leave the altered item? As with all altered items, we need to attempt to distinguish if this behavior is really tired of censorship when I run the whole fucking place. Bam, 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 bam. Just gets old really fast. Ooh. This could be interesting. Do as you're told, don't eat mold. Can't tell me what to do. Skadoosh. Mirror containment. I am holding G now, so it's not my input being wrong. It is that genuinely the game is inconsistent in its ability to skip to the right item. Altered item behavioral study, containing the reflection. AL60, the mirror, does not reflect its surroundings with perfect accuracy. The environment seen in the glass contains slight distinctions. It is unknown why the mirror does this. If there is any, then it's something we can't perceive. The popular theory is that the mirror has a goal in mind, that it reflects the world it wishes were real, subtly replacing our reality with its own. While certainly far-fetched, the theory is worth noting here as a warning not to underestimate the mirror. The specially designed black rock panels have been installed to prevent access from our side or the mirrors. For added security, A particular arrangement of the panels is required to open the door. Now I have to solve the puzzle of what they set up that allows you to even get in here. It looks like the mirror from Oculus. It totally looks like the mirror from Oculus. Oh, that's just the mirror reflecting back at me. So the furthest one should be down. And the other one should be up. Oopsie. So they're saying that the mirror reflects not the real reality, but what it wishes reality was. I might have them backwards, but we'll see.
Looks like there's a mirror in there.
Yep. Wow, thanks, Jesse. You really cracked the code on me. I think it's the two nearest ones on the left. This is a mirror. This is a mirror. This is a camera coming from the left side, so this is the right side then. The two closest ones are down, the first one is up. Okay, there we go. So I wasn't backwards. It's a fun little puzzle though, yeah. The idea is that whatever the mirror is showing is the solution to the puzzle because the mirror shows a distinctly different version of reality. The document reads into it as being intention. That means the mirror knows the solution to the puzzle, which is also weird to think about. Oh, this will be a cool final object to investigate for this series, won't it?
Wait, that didn't sound right. Yeah, that's not good.
Well, I can still think normal, so that's good. I did it. That's not even openable. Whoops. Ah. First shot just missed, I guess. My suit. I can probably understand this guy now, right?
What? I can't understand you. You need to listen. I saw something in there. There is something inside. You need to lock down the mirror. Why are you talking like that? What's wrong with you? All of you? There's something in that fucking mirror.
There's something inside that fucking mirror. Well, let's find out. The Federal Bureau of Control. Ritual Division. Unmapped area. I'm guessing the entire area is flipped. Like Twilight Princess.
Did you see that? Someone's in there.
No. Oh. She was wearing a completely different uniform. On top of her hair being back to the previous one. Her, she had like vertical stripes on her clothes, it looked like. It might have been the leather jacket. It might have just been that. It was hard to make out. Wow. That one went on a journey. The locks are... The giant lock on this from last time is gone. But it still doesn't open. But it had like a big bolt lock on it last time. No, she's wearing something different, isn't she? Yeah, she's wearing the Jedi looking thing that we saw elsewhere. I saw a mannequin dressed like that before. She went and wore her creepy villain smile. I'm coming for you. Oh. Oh my god, the final boss is Nega Jesse. This is the true final boss of this playthrough. Ow.
Nothing but a pale imitation.
She's still alive. I can see her health bar.
Another one?
Oh, there she is. I thought she was gonna get back up. Fuck. I'm out of health. Oh, there's no stairs here. Shit. Ah. Could you imagine if you had to go through the mirror chamber in order to get to the fucking slide chamber? Like if you're trying, like, what if you had to fight Mirror Jesse in order to get to the slide projector in the first place? They come up with all sorts of excuses to get these things to be in the way of where you're trying to go. Defeat Essage. Jesse's written backwards. But they put me all the way back in here, so I have to, like, get back in there? Where am I? Here we are. Like, this is a bizarro world. I had to go on a detour to go, like, go visit Ahti in his mystical, magical vacation land. They could have come up with all sorts of reasons why I would need to fight Mirror Jesse or the Clock Anchor or anything else. Why were they all optional, but all the boring stuff was mandatory? Not to mention just the weirdness of this being a game that even has the whole main story versus side story structure is kind of like a weird structure to the whole thing. And she dead.
Pale imitation.
Stronger start. I'm gonna go upstairs. There she is.
Another one.
Not exactly going according to plan. She's not even coming after me. Listen, I'll be a big old coward. If that's what this combat system needs of me, I will do it. Is she dead too? Oh. Oh. Why is Nega Jesse so durable? Why can't I be durable? I'm jealous. Ah, shit. She has so much meter. Every meter. Every variation of meter, she has so much of it. Now. Damn it.
Better be all of them.
There we go. Heal.
Explains why they locked this mirror up.
It's like Oculus. Which is bad news for me. Cleanse the mirror. I assume we do that back here. The actual mirror.
I wonder what the Bureau was doing with this thing.
Same thing they always do. Lock themselves in a room with it and then probably die. Pretty much what the Bureau does.
Well, it's cleansed now. The hiss is gone. It's dealt with.
I mean, we straight up all locked ourselves in a haunted house. And then convinced ourselves that, like, but it's for science and we're making some kind of progress or whatever. And that ended with the optimistic science boy stripping all his clothes off and exposing himself to, like, radiation and whatnot, and then probably dying. All in the pursuit of the idea that he was, like, totally had a plan. And similar shit happened to basically everyone else. So they're having a good one around here.
TV! Let's watch Junkies in Space! It's not safe! But Star Captain Eagle! Can I poke it with a stick? Okay. Bureau rule number 74. Always be suspicious of things that weren't there before. What? Looks safe to me.